pharma major Cipla. We don't know who's going to acquire Cipla, whether it's going to be Dr. Reddy's lab, whether it's going to be Torrent Pharma, Bain, along with Dr. Reddy's lab. No clarity there on the acquisition of Cipla just as yet.
And interestingly, Shweta, add to that, Cipla making a 100% acquisition of Actor Pharma in South Africa. Actor Pharma or Actor something, I'm forgetting what it is, of a South African company at a time when there are talks about a promoter stake being acquired in the parent Cipla company itself. So I think, yeah, interesting times for the pharma sector. We haven't seen too much M&A happening when it comes to large brands, listed companies in the pharma space, and also at a time when the Indian pharma industry is being looked at with some degree of suspicion when it comes to our cough syrups or our eye drops that we export internationally. But I think Cipla, case in point, of course, a lot of bids have already been submitted by Torrent Pharma, and now we understand that even Dr. Reddy's as well as Bain Capital are in the fray to make a promoter's bid acquisition in Cipla. So I really don't know how to read the pharma story right now. If you can pull up the stocks and get Gaurang also in, it's interesting to note that that Dr. Reddy's was in fact in the red in early trade this morning, while Torrent Pharma was up about 1.5% or so, and Cipla's shares also up in the morning, up about 0.56% or so. So let's look at Cipla, Dr. Reddy's, Torrent Pharma, all the stocks in action this morning, and also take Gaurang's view on that. Gaurang?
Well, so Dr. Reddy's and Bain Capital, new entrant, Torrent Pharma and Blackstone, already we had the news, we had the reaction also on Torrent Pharma when the news flows were there. So today's reaction on Dr. Reddy's would possibly, I would possibly term it as a knee-jerk reaction on fallback of the news, though we don't have the clarity in terms of valuation. They are still thinking about as to how to better the valuation in terms of the offering compared to Torrent and Blackstone. Possibly, and I hope there is no third player jumping into the race. Once we have clarity, Kartik, I think we will be able to comment more on that. But the reaction on Dr. Reddy's this morning is purely because of the kind of news flows that are there, though we don't have clarity in terms of valuation.
What should investors, retail investors especially, holding, let's say, Cipla, Dr. Reddy's and or Torrent Pharma do right now? Is it a wait and watch game, or just wait for news flow and decide accordingly, do nothing right now?
Well, Kartik, if I am a fundamental analyst, I think you don't need to jump the gun.
Okay.
Let me give a disclosure over here. We do have coverage on Torrent Pharma as well as Cipla as well as Dr. Reddy's amongst the pharmaceutical names in the pharmaceutical universe. Let the dust settle down, Kartik. I think I'd put it that way. If you have only bought the stock with a view that you will benefit with the kind of news flows in terms of valuation and the offering, then you can act accordingly. But if you're a long-term investor, I think just let the dust settle down and wait out for a while.